So it's no secret at this point that, mostly similar to how things are done in America, where, parodies are done by a certain industry within the entertainment business, the AV industry in Japan does very similar things. And I've looked at particularly AV remakes or parodies of songs, popular songs. Be it parody or in music or parody in image. I've talked about Million Girls Z. I've talked about Ogura Alice, and most recently I've talked about Nanami Tina. But here we're talking about something just a tad different. While it isn't directly a parody of idols, the song by, it's not really by Monbu Ran, but it is her song, her parody, so to speak. Miwaki no Kuchibiru Timing is not really a song that is written for her, but is rather a parody of the song Kiseki no Kaori Dansu by Matsuura Aya, who is a singer who I believe is still active. Actually, she just came back after a 9-year hiatus, so that's pretty interesting. But in any event, I reckon this song this parody, I should say, came out in around 2004, 2005. There's actually no year I could find about this, when this song or parody was released. But the Matsuura Aya song was released in 2004, so I'm going to guess 2004, 2005. With that said, however, I have to say, as far as what one might, expect an AV parody song to sound, that's pretty much exactly what this song sounds like. And that's not to say it's bad or terrible or anything like that, but there are bits of it that do feel a bit kind of hacked together. And first I want to talk about the original song. The original song here is actually quite good, I have to say. I was really impressed. There are a lot of cool little flirtations with key changes and all that stuff, little modulations here and there. And, honestly, it, I don't know, I have to say, it's really cool. In my opinion, it has a pretty unique sound, probably because it comes from that era, the early mid-2000s, that sort of thing. And so because of that, it does have kind of a different feel than what we're used to. More of like a pop rock kind of sound, I guess you could say. And the music video itself is pretty extreme. It pretty much has Aya kind of doing a number of wild things while singing this pretty catchy tune, if I do say so myself. Honestly, I really like the song. It has that perfect mixture of rock and pop with a really cool melody that, because of the way the harmony goes under it, it really opens up a lot of room for color and everything like that. And honestly, it does. I don't know. It's a really cool song to listen to, honestly. In my opinion, of course. It has a pretty unique sound because of that. And then we get into the parody here, the Monbu Ran parody, which is Miwaku no Kuchibiru Timing. And this parody is funny. First of all, it's only about half the length of the original song, which makes sense. And of course, they can't just rip the song note for note, word for word. Of course, they change the lyrics, and they change the music so that it's not a direct copy. It's a whole new recording, a whole new performance, and everything. But it still follows. It still follows along with some of these some visual cues, so to speak, in terms of the music video. And on top of that, musically, it does follow an albeit shallow, sort of really watered down version of the song. And one of the things that I noticed too is that the mixing is really off. The instrumental sits really, really low in the mix, and the vocals are just hot. It's like she is singing along to like a ster in her room, but like the stereo is turned down and she's like singing into a microphone. I don't know how else to put it, but her vocals are mixed really loud in the mix, and it feels a little amateurish if I do say so myself. It almost sounds like she's singing along to something that just happens to have a backing track that happens to be in the same key and follow along with her vocals. I mean, it really just sounds that incidental, honestly. But for what it's worth, they do recreate. I mean, between the two shots from the original music video, they do recreate. It's actually, I don't know, I do think it's actually pretty impressive. Albeit, I mean, I don't know how they could have gotten it wrong, I suppose, but they look very similar. They both have that kind of washed out look, and I don't know why that was a thing. Maybe it was because it was shot digitally. Maybe there was just but that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. In any event, they both have like a similar color grading thing, and the close-up shots are shot at pretty similar angles, and the choreography is done. It does kind of show a little bit that perhaps the Monbu Ran version was shot in maybe 1 or 2 takes, just because she's supposed to do like a head movement that goes along with the rhythm of like the kind of, I don't know what you would call it, the rhythmic punctuation of a phrase, musical phrase. I don't know. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, and she misses it the first time, and it's like really bad, and she kind of laughs about it. The fact that they kept that is kind of funny, but like, it's a pretty wild ride, I think. I mean, not wild ride in terms of like, whoa, but more like, yeah, that's pretty, they did a thing. Honestly, I have no idea what the larger context for the creation for this music video was. I'm going to assume that it belongs to maybe a larger piece somewhere, and by that I mean an AV video. But for which would explain why it's only about 2 minutes rather than trying to go for the more 4.5 minute thing that. It's almost exactly half the length, which is kind of uncanny, but it was something I just noticed. But but I will say her vocal performance isn't bad. I didn't notice any pitch correction or anything like that, so I mean, I gotta give her props for that, I suppose. She did have something going there as a vocalist, I suppose. I mean, maybe it's not anything not anything to write home about, I guess, in particular. But like, she even has like a nice vibrato, so I don't know. It's too bad we never got to see maybe a career after the AV thing. It appears that she just kind of fell off the radar, which honestly is what a lot of AV people do. So I mean, there is that, but not all of them, but a fair number of them. So yeah, but I mean, what I will say is that this song is pretty charming, this parody. You kind of can't hate it, at the very least, right? You can't really hate it too much, because at the end of the day, like, it's just a short parody thing, and the fact that they actually were able to sort of faithfully recreate pretty well 2 scenes from the original video, I think it speaks volumes for whatever it's worth. And I'm not even trying to sound cheeky about it either, so yeah. In any event, I think I've gone on long enough about this. I didn't mean for it to go on this long. Holy mott. This is going to be interesting to edit, but in any event, that's all I really have to say about this. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments below. I'll see you next time with something new, and in the meantime,